Hi friends, welcome back to Dart and Flutter vocabulary series. Today I will be talking about a feature which was officially released in Dart 2.7 called extensions. It's been in the preview for a while since Dart 2.6, but it was officially released in 2.7. So I will be talking in the context about methods, operator and properties extensions. So let's get started. Alright, so here is the companion article that I wrote for the extensions feature in Dart. So it talks about a little bit about the introduction, that as I just said. And so when do we need the extensions feature? So basically it's needed when we want to extend a functionality from the third-party libraries or from core libraries like string, and we either want to change the functionality or we want to maybe name it differently, or so such things we have been doing for a while using the utility methods, which you remember from the static classes and methods, and the wrapper classes as well. But what happens when we use the utility methods or the wrappers? It's actually in the static methods you pass the object as a argument, as the parameter to the method, and again there is unnecessary objects that lying around, and again there could be like the utility classes can bloat, and there could be unmanageable in the bigger projects as well. So this extension feature came to rescue or to help with that situation. So in here, in extension methods, extension feature, it could be used either extending as a extension methods, extension operators, or extension properties. So in this today's video, I will be showing you how we can use these three things using a very simple example. So the first thing, like what I'm doing here, I have a list of prices, as you can see right here. So let's see first at the methods. So I have a list and it has prices, very simple. As you see, this is my Android Studio right here on the left side, and pretty much it's the same replication what I have in my article right here about the code. So so how we define the extension method? We define the extension method using the keyword extension and on the like what type of data you want to extend. And you might see this T I've used to support the generic types, where I don't want it to be just dependent on one. I want my list to be able to take different type of data dynamically. And another thing is here, like extension, you don't see any name on here. So extension method either can be named or unnamed. So name is optional. So what's the difference between these two? In the extension where you have unnamed, so this is mostly being used in the private classes. So if this extension method is private to this class, if I'm using it locally, then you don't have to name it. However, if I'm using my extension like in a separate file per se, I'm storing in a different file. Right now I'm doing in here, and the file name is extensions2.dart. So in this case, I need to name it because I need this reference to use it here. And if you see right now, if you see this my list in this extension2 class, and the extension is the same, so it has the same definition. So it's actually errors out like if it sees the duplicate. So let's see what I do. So you see here the hide. So hide keyword is used to hide my implementation of my list from my extension2.dart. Let's see what happens if I remove it. So that means my list is available here too. So as you see, it will error out here. It's obvious because we have two implementations which are similar, so you want to hide it. So if you see a conflict like that, you can hide that particular implementation using the hide keyword. So that's the point here. So in this file, in this example, I will be using local because I don't need, but I've thought of it's worth mentioning. All right, so first thing, let's do the price list. So I have a list of the prices, like I have 3 prices of 3 items probably, and I want to just print the list. So why I want to show you this trivial example, because here we'll see like how, what does it mean implicitly. So implicitly means I have it like price list here, and it could use this like the list which is passed, which is prices here, onto this price list, and this keyword can access this whole list. So here what I'm doing, I'm just iterating it over and reprinting again. So nothing fancy here, but it's just for demonstration sake. Okay, and the second method I'm using here, the price labels. So what this thing does, it actually takes each item or the price and put a symbol in front of it, like the currency symbol. So in this case, I'm passing. So this is my second example. I'll just uncomment it to save some time here. So here price listing, and I'm using price.price label, and I'm passing my slash, which is, I'm escaping it, my $sign. And what happens there, let's comment it out and let's run it. So you see everything, all the price list are now prefixed with $sign. So these two are my extension methods right now. So the first one, I'm just printing it, and the second one, I am putting the prefixing with the $sign. Now the second thing is called extension operators. So what these things are, so extension operator is actually, the operator is right here, with the keyword operator, and as you see this great mark. So I want to use this great mark to represent, or to use in my case, to hike up the price. So for example, if I want to increase my price with the given amount, say n times, then I can use this operator simply, right, as you see here. So this is my list items here, the price items, and now I want them to be increased by 3 times, and let's see what happens. It's right here, it becomes like a 3 times multiplication. So where it's happening in this extension operator right here. So it's taking the map on this list, and it's parsing to a number, and it's multiplying by what the number of times the number is passed, and it converting back to list. So that's what is happening. Now there's another operator that I am defining here, which is a minus operator. So I'm defining it as a, like, I reduce my price of all the in all the items in the price list by half. So for example, if an event of sale comes and I want to reduce the price by half, then I may want to use this. So how would I use it? I would simply say minus of prices list, and in front of it I will put minus. So you might see the difference between using it. So a operator which has the argument, it's actually you put the list first, then operator, and then you pass the arguments. When it's a no argument operator, you just put operator in front of it. So that's the difference. So I can show you here too in the example. It's commented, which is not needed, and in here this is prices grade 3. Let's run it. So you see that 3 times got hiked up, and now let's put the minus 1, right, minus prices, and what happened, it reduced by half. All right, so now let's move on to our last type of extension, which is a property extension. So just think of a scenario where I want to have a custom property. So in this example, I want to know, I have 3 prices, and I want to print the labels, like 3 labels for each price. Maybe I have a product that I need 3 labels, maybe at the back cover, top, and maybe on the shelf for that item. and I have like 3 items and I want 3 labels each, so I need actually total 9 labels to be printed, and I want to know this information, maybe to give it to my sales manager, like how many labels I need that. So in that case I can write this property here in the extension block right here, and calling it on my prices list and say number of printed price tags will give me the number of total price tags. So that was about the extension property. So now we saw like how we can use these 3 different type of extension in the Dart: extension property, extension operator, and extension methods. And one very important thing I want to share, like here we actually use put all these 3 type of extension in the one method, sorry, in the one extension block. So here we have one extension block and we have all the definitions in the one extension block. So yeah, so that's pretty much was there for this video about extension feature. And with that I will conclude this video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.